3, 2, 1. Here we are, Morningwood Radio star Hunter McIntyre and his co-host Bobby Ray-Bans. How are you doing today, Hunter? How does it feel to have over 500 downloads for your new book out, starting the weekend, kick off the weekend, and we're halfway to 1,000 downloads? Easy.
I think we beat that. I think we beat that by a big margin. And then we had an ad lady tell us to shut it down. By the way, guys, I'm just going to tell you flat out.
I was like, why are we hiding this?
Don't trust people in advertising. I've tried it 5 times with 5 different agencies, and every single agency sucks ass. I'm going to try to help you guys out. We started our training company in 2000. The version that it's at right now, we started in 2020. In the middle of COVID, starting in March. So the first 6 months of it was just a shit show. It wasn't until about 4 months in when I made it $10 a month that it really started to go big. And, from there we were like, wow, we're growing so quickly. And what are all the bigger businesses doing? They're like, hey, you should be advertising. I have never met a person in my entire time in fitness, even when I was working at Beachbody and I was working at some of the biggest businesses in the industry, an advertising person that actually knew what they were talking about or what they were doing. They know how to spend money. They know how to throw. It's almost like buckshot. They take a shotgun and they just shoot, and they close their eyes and they shoot so many rounds because it's not their ammunition. They shoot, and they will eventually kill something. I mean, it's not hard to catch something when you have an unlimited budget that's not yours. And man, this woman's probably going to hear this at some point in time. I'm amazed by the level of integrity and also return on a lot of these advertising companies. If you have the ability and you have the guts and you have just the fortitude, you need to be able to put the work in yourself, connect with your audience in your own way, and you'll grow organically. I guess that was just my version of venting and starting out the day.
It's kind of like the weatherman, it's not that bad, or it's kind of a great job being a weatherman, or like you said, like the ad agency, because you could say, all right, it's going to be thunderstorms. There's going to be crazy amounts of wind and rain. You know what? We had another windstorm come through, blew that right out. We got sunny skies now, and you don't get fired.
Zero accountability.
You just keep doing your job. You know what? Same thing with the ad. We're going to spend it on this. This is what we expect. Well, you know what? It took a turn. Well, you can't really call them out because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
It's a prediction, but there's no guarantee.
I was just thinking, and you were saying that, I was like, it's interesting to think that these weather people still have a job, because there's an app on your phone right now that will tell you, and you don't need to sit there exactly the time that they're telling you the news.
News, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it might be just more like just a routine thing, to where it's like you wake up, you get your coffee, you make your coffee in the pot, sit down, watch the weather.
It's also sensationalized. When rain hits the ground, they're like, it is going to be torrential downpours, people. The likelihood of flooding, high, if not massive. People will be dead bodies everywhere. In reality, it's just a little stream trickling down into your local drain, and maybe some leaves get in the way and it kind of back floods a little bit. That's their version of flooding.
I think my favorite video was they put a weather guy out there. They put him in a big old weather cap and rainstorm, and he's fighting against the wind and trying to show you how terrible the wind is. And then you got this bystander walking in the background, like old lady walking her dog. And it's like, oh, well, I guess the wind wasn't that bad if old lady River can just walk by with her dog and, with nothing but just her and her dog leash, and she can be fine. It was all hype.
I'm not gonna lie. I think we should take a spin on this thing. Next time there's a big hurricane or a big storm coming, we should just do a live show all the way through. Thick ass updates, just relentless updates.
We're riding this storm out.
I think what we should do for World's Toughest Mudder or some of these bigger championships, we should definitely log in and do a live show and give our versions of the story.
For that's an interesting thing. We got Battle Bunker coming up. I could, bring the soundboard and everything, and we could do a podcast on the day of or day before.
Set it up, baby.
While we're out there. All right. Hey, by the way, when is Battle Bunker?
October 29th, man. We are 2 Saturdays away. I'm going to go down to Newport Beach, and then I'm basically moving down to San Diego right afterwards.
Okay.
I'm going to set myself up and put myself in the position where I'm going to be at the battle bunker every single day, hustling my ass off for a week.
Battle bunker only, or you have that boat coming from Germany, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
that arrives. The boat is coming in on Thursday, so I pick it up in Newport this weekend. I'm actually going to have my first race this weekend. It's going to be long distance. It's not really meant for what I'm doing, but
Mhm.
being that I'm going to do the 4-mile race because I haven't been on the boat for like a month, and I'm going to try to get 4 miles done in under an hour, like well under an hour. So I think that will be a pretty good accomplishment and task for me. And then I'll probably have to just get back to Ironman training.
Mhm.
But I'll mix both of them in, dude. And I'm really just going to be, I'm going to park my boat at the Olympic Training Center and I'll just go to the course, work on it every single day, make sure that all the sandbags are weighed properly, make sure all of the cones and everything on course is marked properly, and make sure that the volunteers have no questions, make sure that the guests have no questions, the athletes have no questions. So the following week is going to be busy. I'm going to try to really lay low right now.
So how many sandbags have you guys ordered? From what I heard, I was on a meeting and you have all these sandbags coming, but like you ordered just as much sand to like fill these things up. You guys don't just go down to the beach and like start hawking in sand into your sandbags.
I don't know why Austin didn't do that. I was like, just go to the beach where there's free
There is
sand.
free sand everywhere.
He paid for the sand. The dude's a nut. I don't know why he paid for the sand. I think it was, whatever. I think he
Legally.
just didn't have the time to go down there and shovel sand.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like we had to get all the backpacks individually. We had to get all of the sandbags individually. We had to build the course. This stuff was very, very costly.
Mhm.
And paying the athletes, all of this kind of stuff is costly. It was a big expense. But hopefully, what I'm really trying to get the industry to get involved in is understanding like this could potentially, and I'm only saying potentially because I'm not going to promise, but this could be basically the new frontier of what we're doing, kind of an obstacle course racing and functional fitness. And I think the athletes really need to get behind it. Like the
Yeah.
athletes, the community, that you guys need to support this because honestly, you have to stop leaning on OCRWC and Spartan Race to be doing everything in this industry. There's a new generation of people, and I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'm not somebody who leans on failure. I lean on success, regardless of the outcome. So basically, look at this guy, says he's doing all of his chores at the farm. Basically, we're going to be hustling and making this thing something incredible. And the second iteration of this thing is going to be fantastic. It's actually going to be the show that's the most exciting part of it.
Yeah, so what's that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, okay, all these other competitions, we hear about the world championships that are going on, but we never get to see them, or we get to see them, but it's not live, and it's 6 weeks later. The hype for it is over, but now they got this highly produced show, but it's 6 weeks after, and everyone's moved on. So, how are you guys gonna show what's going on, like at the event, to keep the hype going?
Our terminology is called social immediacy.
Ah,
So it is basically going to be socialized immediately. It is going to basically be given to you guys in the moment, and then there'll be a post doc also. So you can get it in the day, but then you get the real behind the scenes story that is kind of produced by our message and understanding of how the competition started, what happened at the competition, pre, during, post type stuff.
so there's gonna be live cameras, live setup,
Big time.
hosts and everything. Austin's obviously going to go through, do the walkthrough pre race, walk through
Yep.
the event, and then have the people go. Are there going to be like live interviews after? Like, hey, you just took that and you went crazy on that. How did that feel? How are you going to get into these next few competitions?
Everything. And he's going to be managing that. My role is basically just managing the athletes, everything that's going on, really making sure that that the experience of the competition is top notch. He's going to make the media of the competition top notch.
Yeah,
So, for
seems like
me,
other videos.
I'm going to
And
let
then
him focus on media
coming in,
and
like crushing it over the top with the style of racing and competition, and how they're going to be scored throughout the day, and how that leads into the final race of the obstacle course, right?
yep. It's an all day experience. It's going to be heavy. This guy right here said random name. He said, agree with this. Been to Decafit, won my medal, literally broke before I left the venue. Spartan is a shitty company, it seems. I'm
Oh,
not going to lean on and say that Spartan's a shitty company, but I will say that it's tough. I mean, those guys have been doing it for a long time, but I'll say that the experience started out as something very raw and incredible, and now it's just been filtered down so much, watered down so much from where it originally started. And, I feel bad for the establishment, but also at the same time, I think that they're trying to focus on number of participants rather than the integrity of events, and that's challenging, man. So
from what you were
that's
saying with Ryan Kent, it seemed like when you guys first started, it was like there are 3 different options, and you have your 3 different options to compete in, and you study and you train hard for those 3 different options. Then they started to get some success, and they're like, well, instead of these 3 options, let's branch out 20 different options. And then there's 20 different prizes. And so that collection of money that gets split between 3 is now, let's water down to 20 different. And now instead of a $10,000 paycheck, you're getting $200, and it just diminishes all your hard work and time. Why are you going to put so much time and energy into a $300 payday?
Well, dude, Spartan Race imploded. Spartan Race imploded. Tough Mudder imploded. It kind of was sad. As I said, next generation, we're hoping to hold the baton, carry it a little bit further this time, do a better job.
Absolutely.
If we're going to continue with the flow of the update show, the first thing I wanted to put out here is that my bike is dead.
No.
My bike flew out of the back of my truck. So I'm training for an Ironman right now. For those of you who are not paying attention, it flew out of the back of my truck going 80 miles an hour, exploded on the highway, and now I am bikeless. I am training on a Concept 2 bike right here most of the time and just spinning and trying to get my
Biker?
shit together. What's that?
You're training on the bike erg, like the
Yes.
damper bike erg. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not perfect. It's not ideal. It's not bad. It's not triathlon training. It is neutral at best.
On the wave of like, this is what you should be doing for 100% Ironman training. It's on the lesser end of that side.
Yes, 100%. I mean, dude, the thing that we were trying to do with Rich Diaz the other day when he was losing his mind and
You
having
would not
trouble
approve
keeping
of bike erg training.
Yeah, I was trying to convey to people during that is how important it is to have technology these days, to have these incredibly impressive times in Ironman. Like, it's just not the same as what it used to be. The bikes are incredibly different. And these aerodynamic tucks that are allowed to be in, it's incredibly efficient, incredibly fast. And you also have to practice that skill of being in that tuck on that kind of bike. So I'm personally trying to get a bike as fast as possible. I'm talking to Specialized and a couple other major distributors to see if they'll lend me a bike. Because I'll just tell you guys right now, I'm not going out to buy another bike. I'm not an Ironman athlete. I do not need to spend $5,000 to $7,000 to prove something that I don't really care that much about. I will destroy Kyle with or without the Ironman bike, but
Old Blue might just show up, and you might as well take just Old Blue out. Seems to be the only thing that is steady throughout this whole thing. It doesn't get blown out of the back.
Dude, I could spend probably about another $150 and have everything tuned up on that bike, and I'll just kill everybody. It's okay. I'm going to do that. Yeah. It's sad, but I also have another bike that I could probably get a hold of, but I'll try to figure out that. So the bike's dead, and I'm working really hard on getting that thing back, and it's heartbreaking. It sucks. Like, dude, in the past week,
How did it fly out? I mean, obviously you said that
it was strapped in.
Yeah, it wasn't just hung over the front tire, hung over with the tarp over the flatbed.
Nope, it was hung in, and it had straps on it, but dude, those deep dish wheels, I think they just catch wind. The whole thing is built aerodynamically, so it's meant to have this straight line forward, but wind caught it at the wrong angle and just chucked the thing. Wrecked all over the highway. It was a stressful morning, to say the least. And then guess what? Right after that, 2 days later, my freaking computer screen's broken now. So I'm getting my ass kicked right now. Truly.
Technology and high-priced items are not your thing.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, remind me before the end of this thing. I'm going to tell you about this book that changed my life. And I'm leaning more towards that. And it does not seem like the Hunter McIntyre path, but it actually has been behind the surface for a while.
What's the book?
Curious if Battle Bunker does well, if it's going to travel around the country. We are not going to offer anything beyond this at this point. It may be something, but at this time, one thing that I've learned really well in this industry is that expansion usually ends up leading to collapse.
Yeah, right now,
If
the
done
way
too
it's set up,
aggressively.
I don't know that Battle Bunker right now, the way Austin has it set up, it leads to a mobile type of event because the obstacles that he built are very, stationary, you know,
Well,
and
we could very easily go to other companies and have already built-in events and
okay.
make a Battle Bunker experience there. Yes, I think that's where Austin wants to go,
Mhm.
but don't get your hopes up just yet.
I think we might need
Um,
a Battle Bunker training guide.
well,
Some collab with Austin on creating a Battle Bunker training guide.
it's something I want to lean towards. I definitely want to make sure that, I mean, house training is a program that is meant to teach athletes to be prepared for anything and everything.
Yeah.
It's not just for elite level athletes, it's for people who are doing their first ever high rocks, their first ever battle bunker, their first ever 5K, and also people that just want to look different and feel different and actually learn about health and fitness. So, our programs are really, really well designed to help people for that kind of stuff. And, we're trying to, right now, we're taking over the High Rocks world because High Rocks is exploding. And I just heard from people who were over in London that they had 4,800 people competing alone.
Oh, wow.
It's insane. Ooh, ah. Interesting how I'm getting out of the sport as right as it starts to pick up. What are you going to do?
You held its coattails until or you carried the torch until now it's on the blow up.
I did. And it's sad. You know what, dude? Like, it's gonna change, and my record probably will not stand for long because I think they're basically like making the sleds and everything lighter and easier. And
Off.
I knew that.
I saw a video over the weekend of somebody going through pushing the sled, and it was a mixed doubles or a mixed couple. So obviously, and it wasn't pro weight or it wasn't like pro or elite, so it was just regular men's division. Okay, so but the way that they were pushing it was just like it was butter, and it was the full 275 that the men have to push because the women play up. If you're a mixed doubles, the women play up, and she was struggling with it, and then this guy took it over, and it was just like it was pushing it on, just butter. Like
Yeah.
how I don't there can't be that big of a discrepancy between friction of the U.S. carpets and the friction of the UK carpets.
Well, I think honestly that these people are going to learn. A few too many people in the UK. High Rocks run it. Slicks has been in the past. I don't know what that means, but I mean the thing is the difference. It's not truly like the capacity of a triathlon where you're sitting there and saying that it's one distance in each of these. It's three movements in the same distance across the way. It's actually for this has more to do with the course design and the material of the sleds and the carpets and everything like that. I told everybody for a long time, I said, guys, you have to understand, I just flat out know that these people over in the UK and Europe are not pushing sleds as fast as me. I've competed against multiple world champions in this sport over in Europe, and every time when it gets to the strength capacity stations, I destroy them. Yet all of a sudden, when they go back to Europe, they're killing my sled times. Everybody is. People who barely even do the sport are killing my times. They're like, oh, I see people post about it. Like, I beat Hunter McIntyre's time in this. And I was like,
Mm.
we'll see. We
There
shall see.
there might need to be like a breakdown of US sled time and that's its own category and UK sled time because from what I see that there's no way to put those stats in the same category.
Well, I think what they need to do is they need to qualify 5 people from the North American Championship. They need to qualify 5 people from the European Championship. And then they do need to do 5 people with the best overall times outside of those throughout the season to qualify the top 15. Because it's not really fair because, there was, I think, like 3 or 4 Americans out of the 15. And the Americans went 1, 2, 5. And then Cole was like eighth. Cole didn't have the greatest race, but of the top 5, we took 3 of the spots and
Okay.
we didn't have the fastest qualifying times. And it just was very different when all of a sudden they came over here and started to use our materials to show how much better, we did. But
Didn't you say you brought it up to him in a pre-meeting? You're like, I don't know that these people realize how tough you have these sleds over here.
And then
They're
they
like,
took away one of the plates.
Fine. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yep.
They took away one of the plates. But good news about my bike breaking and talking about Hyrox is I'm getting much faster again at running. I haven't really ran at all since Hyrox World Championships. I did a little bit of running to get ready for Swim Around World Championships. Rest in peace. I didn't go this year. And now all of a sudden, my running's back down, dude. I'm running sub 6-minute miles again quite regularly. And it's so crazy to watch that transformation of just being like superstar fit into all of a sudden like off-season fitness, which is way down here, and then it comes back up. I feel like a god king right now. That
so
being
when
said,
you go out, I mean, looking at our Facebook group and everything, I just love seeing all the success stories and everything. So, one person in particular really wanted to shave, I think, probably 2 or 3 minutes off of his 5K time, but based upon what they did, and he's already fast over the last cycle, he shaved 20 or 30 seconds off his total 5K time, which he's like, oh, I wanted more. But when you're already that fast and you're able to shave 20 or 30 seconds off, I think that's a huge accomplishment, because after you get to a certain point, it's tough to keep shaving minutes off your time within one training period or like one training cycle, right?
in an 8-week period, that's also pretty awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, it's like 8 to 12 week period. That's really awesome. Like I remember when I first did, like this was a while ago, and I was getting ready for my marathon training. I ran like a 16:45 5K, and then I ran a 16:10 5K about 2 months later. And that's a 40-second jump. This guy had a 20-30-second jump. Like if you're in that area right around there, that's big. And what I keep on telling people when I'm, I was just writing the rules for our new training camp.
Yeah.
And what I wrote right here, I said in the section, if you're trying to go, your goal is to get fitter by the end of the transformation. I said, progress is progress. Champions are not built overnight. You must be on the path for a long time before you find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Like people really need to recognize that it just takes years. And I'm so glad that you're showing up. That's awesome. But to discredit progress is a mistake. To be inspired by progress, doesn't matter if it's by 5 inches or 5 miles, is where the process really begins. Like you need to believe in it, and you need to keep on getting back. You need to reassess. You need to grow. So don't be foolish about it. Like, understand that that's a step. But then what I also asked the guy, I said, show me your mile splits. And if I had to bet, this dude spiked and then crashed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you have all that energy at the beginning of the race. And then once you get out of the pack, the corral of shoulder to shoulder racing, then it sets in. You're like, holy shit, what did I just do for that first mile? And then you're like, oh man, I got to keep up this pace. It's tough to keep that adrenaline down and keep that pace that you can do, because you want to go out and rage on that first mile. I've done it with half marathons and 5Ks and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like you're shuffling your feet, but if you don't do that, then you're going to crash later.
Well, the thing that I always tell people is treat it like going to the casino. Like if I gave you $100 and you got all of your chips,
yeah,
would you go all in on the first hand?
I mean, I have, but if it's a long pull, if it's a slow roll, it's like, all right, this is your $100. You have no more money in the bank after this. How are you going to make it last? I'm not going to go all in on one and risk my whole weekend of fun on one hand. I'm going to play penny slots.
But that's what most people do, dude, is they go all chips in, and then they expect all of a sudden that hand to just work out. They're like, this is my pace. I'm in. I'm freaking going. And then they die. I'm like, what were you thinking? Like, be conservative. Be like, okay, bet a little bit here, getting some confidence, getting on a winning streak, and let's go.
Yeah.
Now I'm gambling.
You don't put all the money on the roulette wheel on one number and hope it hits out. I've seen it happen one time. It doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah. So people got to be understand. They got to be conservative here.
Shout out that guy, 20, 30 seconds off his time. Great job. Great job.
Huge. All right. I drank too much coffee already, and you're going to have to hold the show. 30 seconds.
Here we go. All right, Hunter, while Hunter takes a quick break. So there's a lot of training camps going on. Just want to know, just want you to know that the one that we're doing is like the 8-week get ready for the holidays, have a plan for the holidays. That's the one that we're trying to get people to sign up for right now. Signups are live, signups are available. We have a program that is $199. You get not only all the training camp, but let's just throw in a yearly membership with that as well. As well as that, hey, I don't want to shuffle out $200. I get it. We're gearing up towards the holidays. Everybody wants to save some money. We do have that first 2 months free if you're a brand new member. Message me if you're a current member and want to jump in on the camp. You get you that $119 price. We have 3 different training guides that are going to be available: PDF, ebooks, Zoom calls. And the biggest thing is $1,000 giveaway to the biggest transformations, right? I think that is huge. So that's the training camp that we're talking about. We're in Hunter's like, we're getting people to sign up. This is the official one that we want people to sign up for. Different price plans. I think both are a phenomenal deal. And we'll get you set up having that plan for the winter months to fight that fat.
Fight the fat, baby. You know what we should talk about real quick? And I was going to introduce this earlier.
Yes, sir.
So here are the 3 programs you're going to be running. We're going to introduce this later on Instagram, but if you guys are watching now or you're going to tune in, you want to hear the long version of it. There's 3 different programs you get to choose from. One is the pro program, and it's called the EMOM Athlete. This is something that I learned a while ago that I wish I had adopted it earlier on in my training. And it's basically a block of training that we're going to run for 8 weeks, which is about strength capacity, strength endurance. And we are going to basically use the technique of using EMOMs, which is very limited rest, just keep on tackling more and more workload over time. And you're going to obviously accommodate this thing and grow throughout time, but you're going to be against the clock. Let's just say that, we're going to go for 10 minutes straight, and you're going to have to, from the ground, do 5 cleans. So you're going to have to clean it up, and you're going to have to do 5 squats or 5 cleans like that for 10 minutes straight. And what that's going to add up to is 50 reps. And, in the very beginning of this thing, it's going to be incredibly challenging. Heart rate's going to spike. Strength endurance is going to start to go up. Like, it's going to be a challenge. But the EMOM Athlete is for one of those kind of athletes that is really interested in high rocks or increasing their conditioning through strength. Like DecaFit, all these kind of things. It's an incredible opportunity. Also, even if you're an endurance athlete, this is something that can really push your engine power output out. So EMOM Athlete is going to be a blast.
During those events is you're going to have to do the run, have your cardio up, but then you go immediately into a strength block. If you haven't trained, if you haven't trained on this strength block, and to be able to push that weight for a minute and go back to it, rest for 30 seconds and go back to it, you're not going to be able to withstand the entire time. That's why you would train with this type of program, right?
Yep. And it's a perfect opportunity. One of our athletes just posted in the Facebook group, and he was really confused by his results. And I looked at all of his runs, and they were pretty strong. He's an old, OCR athlete. And you could see that his strength numbers were just not there. Like, all of the strength stations were taking almost twice as long as his runs were. So the thing is, if you're an athlete like that, has a great engine, but does not have great strength capacity, when you hit these stations, they just put you dead in the water. This is a great program for you. Next program for our Look Good Naked program is going to be called GVT, German Volume Training. I just put one of my personal clients through it. And German volume training, much like the 20 rep back squat program we've done before, is one of these kind of strength capacity workout programs that will add muscle mass and strength capacity at a higher level than any other program out there. It's the best in the business. And really, it is a spectacular plan for athletes out there looking to really, really improve their size and their strength overall. It's simple, it's brutal, it's fun. It will be over in 8 weeks. I promise it's worth the investment. And then last but not least, we have total body conditioning, which is for dumbbell athletes, the intro athletes. So total body conditioning with just dumbbells. And we are going to do a full body program. All you need is a set of dumbbells and your body weight, and you will absolutely rip this up. If I was not doing athletics anymore, this would be the program I would be on. It's something that's simple. It's fun. It makes your body look great. It's not super impactful and intense when it comes to soreness. And I honestly think that dumbbells are a way better program in design for adding like muscle mass, shapely muscle mass than barbells are. Barbells are better for getting strong. So of those 3 programs, you have the choice to take on whatever you want and it's kind of pick your own path and play with it. So I think it's a really, really cool option. Obviously with this, we match you with a diet plan of whether or not you want to lose weight, gain muscle, or basically focus on athletics and maintain. And all of these things are awesome options for people that are really kind of looking to jumpstart or even reset the kind of program that they're in right now. This is more for people who are curious and need to learn more or need to have a blanket reset. And, it's basically great for intro level people and even myself. Like I'm hiring a new coach today, a guy I worked with before, and I just need to reset. I need to have a new plan to make sure that I follow things to a T with a new diet and get things going for my new next career in paddling. So awesome.
We match you with the type of body type that you are, going through the content yesterday, making these PDF training guides that you will receive for it. You do a great job of breaking down the 3 different types of, we don't have to get into it, but there are 3 different body types, Samoa types, I think you call them. And, with that, you're going to be able to identify with one of those. And then based upon how you match up with that, it kind of directs you to, okay, if I'm this type of body type, I'm going to follow this type of plan. And that's going to be best for me to project like my biggest transformation. So
ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph. And if you understand your body type, you have a better chance of being able to hit your goals because each of these body types are unique. We're not all built the same. Like there's a reason why basketball players look different from gymnasts, and the way that they need to train their bodies is actually different. You can't just all of a sudden say like this athlete is only can do this thing and it's only going to get better. But yes, you can understand there's a different way to tackle that kind of body type through weight training and also through cardiovascular training, and specifically and most importantly is diet. So if you guys can tackle it like that, find your body type, tackle it the right way, it can be incredibly beneficial and really cut out a lot of the questions and issues that you're going to run into while you're training. So I deal with this all the time when I'm talking to athletes, and I usually have to explain to them like, listen, like even though you are reading something, it doesn't necessarily apply to you because a lot of these training programs and companies and these books over here, they're giving you this blanket statement that they're trying to just generalize and help out the masses. If you can specify and focus on yourself a little bit, that's really where the magic happens. We are an open-ended program. We do one-on-one training with people also. These things are really, really awesome. This program right here is kind of that middle ground between one-on-one training and kind of mass training. So enough about that. I'm sure you guys want to hear about more interesting stuff. Like the training book that I really want to make sure that if anybody's listening to this, man, if you've gone this far with us on the show right now, you've been here for 32 minutes listening to Ryan and I ramble about stuff, you obviously care about fitness and you care about training. I wrote a free book about all of the training camps that I've done since 2013, my first year racing Spartan Race World Championships, until 2022, which is almost 10 years of basically competing in High Rocks now. And every single training camp, I learned something new. I had to tweak something. I had to change it. I had to refine it. And I made myself better every single year. It's not like all of a sudden competitions become less involved. There's actually more athletes. The more competition I get exposed to, the more people that I have to go up against and the better I have to get myself to accommodate these new challenges and these newer athletes. So if you're somebody like that, this book, even if you are not somebody who wants to be elite level athlete, you just want to be somebody who wants to be the most elite version of themselves, this book is incredible. And it's free, and it's going to take only about, I don't know, half an hour to read through. Get through it. Get into it. So,
I was taking a dive into it, and it just really shows, okay, because, from what you're looking at now, if you view Hunter McIntyre, if I just started following you, I'd be like, well, damn, this guy lives at altitude. He's got unlimited gym equipment that's in his garage area of where he trains. Like he walks out of his room and like he's in a gym. That'd be nice if I could train all day. But you go to chapter 1, off to Sparta before, you just learning Sparta. You had 300 pounds total of weights. you carry it across the country, and you're training in a moldy basement you deem as the butcher shop with like dungy, dirty, like it's yes, you're at the highlight now of having unlimited plates, whatever type of tonal on your wall. It didn't start that way. It started with a squat rack, a bar, and a moldy freaking basement.
Dude, when I got there, my friend Petter drove us across the country, and I met my friend in Philadelphia, the next friend. We took the barbell out, all the plates, and my one duffel bag. We then drove to Vermont. I get there, and I have this bedroom above the general store. And that's like the food grocery store, tiny little store. And there's nobody in this town. There's Joe DeSena, who's almost never there. There's the people at the grocery store. And then there's a couple like, pretty backwood kind of people that were not nice.
Yeah, it's a
They're like,
500 population town, 500 people population town.
So I was by myself at all times. I took a backpack. I filled it with a trash bag with sand as much as I could.
Okay.
And I made a ruck. So I would do that. I had my barbell. I then took a PVC pipe, a metal plumbing pipe. And then I took this metal that was basically like sheet metal with holes in it, and I bent it over and hammered it with a nail, hammered nails into the tree so that I could do pull-ups.
Okay.
Yep. I went into
not all glitz and glam. It's like you see the materials there. I think I can make a pull-up bar, and then you make it. Not everyone can start off with, the high metal, really nice pull-up bar, chin-up bar. It's like you see trees in the woods, you see materials in the woods, you can use that and get strong to fit.
Yep. Then I went into the next building. I got pieces of wood. I drilled. I don't even know how I got these holes in there properly, but I drilled in holes, and then I stuck these pipes into them, hammered the pipes in, just smacked it. None of this stuff was actually held together. It was all kind of just like pressure keeping it together. And I would just sit in a basement by myself. And by the way, dude, there was no social media at the level that it was today. I had no one to talk to. No one was like liking my pictures, being like, "You're so cool, Hunter." Nothing. I was by myself, convincing the world and myself every single day, having to reassure myself, like, this is going to work out. You're going to be great, Hunter. At the time, there wasn't money in this. There wasn't like fame in this. There wasn't anything. I had a sponsorship from Reebok, which like basically barely covered my bills. And I had no girlfriends. I had no friends. I had nothing. Like, now I'm in Malibu right now. I could run down to the corner store to Whole Foods and get myself a green smoothie, have a date with a beautiful girl, go to the movie theater, drive around in my nice car.
Yeah.
It was insane. And my family did not want me there. And the townspeople didn't want me there. And nobody believed in the path that I was on. It was crazy.
You had an end vision, which is, I would imagine, you're not there yet, obviously, but based upon where you came from to where you are now, that vision that you have where you're at right now was with you when you were in the butcher shop. You're like, one day I'm going to have X, Y, Z.
I was just tired of people telling me I couldn't do things. Like I was told in school that I was never going to amount to anything because I had ADD. I was told when I got into rehab that I was never going to amount to anything because I had a problem. I was told when I got out of rehab that I wasn't able to join the military because I had a problem. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to build exactly the life that I want, and I'm going to give myself all the opportunities that I want through my own influence. I'm not going to show up to their party and ask to be let in. I'm going to make my own fucking party, and people are going to show up, and they've been showing up ever since. And it's a big part of what I try to tell people is like, you cannot sit here and have any doubt in your storyline, because if you're writing a script for your movie and you're not excited about this script, you're like, oh man, look at this. Oh shit, I can't believe I'm going to do this too. Then nobody is going to show up. I believe in my story more than anybody else in the world. Right now, I'm telling people that I'm going to go to the Olympics for paddling. You know how many people look at me and they're like, what? You've never done this sport before?
I remember what? You telling me just trying to get an interview or trying to get a phone call with like an introduction to what sprint canoeing is. People were laughing you off and just taking calls while in the car with 10 other people. And you're like, oh, you want to do this? Oh, you've never done this before? And you could hear the laugh going on in their voice.
These people treated me like shit. I'm not saying it's all of them. I have a great coach, Rami. Stefan Holtz helped me out. There's somebody who's flying across from Germany with a boat right now to hand deliver it to me. I have found a path and a great group of people here. But when
Yeah.
I first started, nobody gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, I'm top guy in the world right now at the sport of high rocks. I could keep on showing up and win until the day that I die. And I'm walking away from it because I want to do something else. I want to do something that is making my heart pound, putting a little fear, a little bit of blood in the water. I want to feel the chase again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this whole storyline is about. It's basically accommodating resistance and tackling things that are almost impossible and finding the way when there is no path. Most people, when they go around places, they look for paved roads that are smooth and easy and have gas stations every 5 miles so that they can get themselves a nice little delicious snack to, make them feel good about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about looking straight into the tree line where there's wild cobras, bears, and lions and tigers out there looking to kill you and just starting to hack into the jungle. There is no path. There's just hope and there's a goal. So that's a lot of what this book is about. And every single year,
carving your own path, right?
What's that?
Carving your own path, making your own way.
100%, dude.
Getting your
That's
own
what this book's
story.
about. And I'm hoping that people who are listening to this will download it. It's absolutely free. There's no reason not to. Learn. I wrote it and I was excited. Even though I had someone last night tell me I loved your book, but there's so many grammatical errors that next time we need to adjust. I was like, shit, I worked really hard on that.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Well, I think I kind of covered all the bases, dude.
All right.
I'm trying to think what else we got going on. I guess I'm meeting up with Alex tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep. I think he's cleaned his
give
system
a
out.
shout out to the guy that's taken over your YouTube channel and has created just amazing storylines, amazing videos. Your team that has helped you create your new YouTube channel.
Yep. We're all in on that.
Yeah.
In on that. I think really like that's my biggest regret, and I'm not much of a regret-based person, is that we didn't spend more time on this earlier. We could have done a better job. We could have done we had so many cool things we could have recorded this whole time. And like YouTube's such an incredible platform that it is your own TV network.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm somebody who's been working in the TV industry for years, and I don't own the rights to anything that I did. If I had just taken the money out of my pocket at the time, rather than buying a car or rather than buying, a golden microphone, no, I'm just kidding. But like,
Platinum.
just investing in things that were luxuries. If I just invested in this, I can only imagine where we'd be right now. So I am super, super excited about the next chapter. We're going to do some awesome stuff. You're going to see me in the woods a lot more often. I'm going to be spending more time up there in the cabin. We're going to be doing logger shit, lots of paddling. So if you guys have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, comment, question, whatever it is, guys. We're trying to make it this a cooler experience. We always want to serve you guys at the highest level. We're not showing up here for ourselves. Ryan and I talk all the time anyways. So if we can make this a better experience, guys, just let us know how we can do it. And we'll have another one of these shows out at the end of the week, talking a little bit more about Ironman. We're going to try to get someone really interesting on to kind of learn a little bit more about the process. And I'm going to go crush a run right now, even though my legs feel like death.
So quick question on that. When your legs do feel like that, do you feel like you need to go out and push the pace, or do you listen to your body and you're like, you know what, I'm going to ease into this. I should, I want to do a 6:30 sub 5 minute type miles, but I think I'm going to do like a 9 or 10 just to listen to my legs.
Well, in reality, like if I had a key workout today, like a really hard key workout, I may delay it a little bit. Like there's no point in just like going into the deep end of the pool when you're feeling like absolute crap, when you're not going to get the real work out of it. But then there's the inner bitch. Like, are you just being a bitch? Are you like yesterday? I'll be totally honest. I have not done any High Rocks workouts in such a long time. I did this 5 rounds, 10 calorie ski, 15 push-ups, 20 wall balls. 2 rounds into it, I was like, I might stop at 4. I feel awful.
Yeah.
I'm so weak and so underprepared right now. This is so bad. And that was my inner bitch. I was like, what? I was like, dude, you're like 4 minutes into a workout right now and you're ready to quit. And in reality, like I got it done and I felt great that I had done it. So there's that stuff coming up. And, today I'm going to go out there and I'm going to move. I may not move hard, but I'm going to move. I need to go out there and run for about 90 minutes, and it's going to suck because I don't feel great. I didn't sleep really well last night because my legs are so sore from that workout. But you know what, dude? I'm about to go do an Ironman. It's going to take me 10 hours. And if I can't run for 90 minutes when I'm feeling sore, I cannot imagine the demons that are going to be singing on my back, like just in the middle of the race, being like, Hunter, quit.
It'd be so nice to go sit in that van that's trailing you.
Hunter, you don't need to stay here. It's too hot. Go home, drink a beer. Everyone loves you anyways. Yeah. So you just need to quit and like quit that talk in your head and just shut the F up.
Well, Kyle, we did have our yearly membership for $299, and right now we've discounted it to $199 for house training for a year. But it's going to be like that for the end of the month, and then it will go back up.
And we're going to tighten things up. But yeah, usually month to month is $40, and our yearly membership, at least during this time, is $199, and it comes with this challenge where we give you all this content about, there's a whole nutrition guide, there's a whole, it's, fueling protocols for athletes. We give you this whole other guide. We give you the training book. We set you all up, and then we do all these Zoom calls to basically align you with the right direction for what you need to do to get to your goals. So it is kind of like one-on-one training, but obviously in a group setting.
What about that cash
we
money?
Love it like that. I have a handful of one-on-one athletes, and I really do love working with them. But that group setting, for some reason, there's a really magical response. And I'll repeat a study. It was, I read it from Entrepreneur Magazine. If you take, basically, let's say Ryan and I both made an agreement, like we're gonna do this 56-day challenge, and we're gonna make sure it happens. So we both say that to each other. There's a 60%, 65% more likely chance of us succeeding because of that. Now, if you level up and Ryan and I contact each other constantly, reaffirming our goals, there's a 90% chance of us hitting our goals. And it's just this group setting. And that Facebook group, part of this challenge is no matter what, you have to show up to the group every single day. It doesn't matter if you post something, like something, or comment on something. Just showing up and showing that you're accountable and interacting with a group will increase your likelihood of you succeeding. That is part of the challenge. So, it's not a challenge, but you know what I mean? It is part of the process. Yeah. So making sure that you show up is one of those kind of things that we are really trying to impress upon the group. And we want everybody in there to just like, no matter what, it's pretty impressive. Like this one guy the other day was just writing about how he felt so unmotivated. The comments and the support poured in. I guarantee that dude felt like a rocket ship afterwards. So there's something special about it. And, that's what we're really trying to kind of teach in our program. I don't know what the hell's going on with me. All right, man, I'm going to tune out. I am going to call you a little bit after this, dude. We're going to catch up, and then I am out there on the trail, and I'm going to rip shit up.
Thank you very much,
everybody.
To Morningwood Radio with your host, Hunter McIntyre, co-host Ryan Thierry. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.